Greetings, travelers! We hope you and yours are doing well as we enter March, the third month of the year. This is, of course, the year 2021. Thank you for taking time out of your busy day to join us here. My name is Mike. Welcome to another video from Earthshine Education. Now, if you're new to the channel, please be sure to click the subscribe button and ring that notification bell so you don't miss out on any of our live streams or any of our future videos. In this show, we will be talking about the moon phases for March 2021. We're going to talk about the planets that are visible without a telescope, with a little spotlight on Mercury and Jupiter. We're also going to briefly talk about the change of the seasons. With all that said, let's get to it. As always, we will begin by talking about our closest celestial companion. We of course mean the moon. The moon is tidally locked, meaning the same phase always looks towards us here on the planet Earth. It, of course, does not create its own light. It is reflecting light from the sun. As the moon orbits around the planet Earth, the amount of reflected sunlight varies, and that causes what we call the phases of the moon. Each phase does have its own name. Of course, we start off with a new moon, and that becomes a waxing crescent, a first quarter moon, a waxing gibbous. Then, of course, you get the full moon. Now, the full moon in March, at least in the northern hemisphere, is known as the worm moon, because this is the time that worms begin to come out of the permafrost. After the full moon, you have the phases in reverse. You have a waning moon, beginning with a waning gibbous. Then you get the third quarter or last quarter moon, a waning crescent, and then the new moon, which starts a cycle all over again. Now, this cycle does not always line up with the standard Gregorian calendar that we all use, or many of us use. As such, sometimes the month begins with a phase that's different from the full moon, and there are also times where you can get two full moons in a single month. That is not the case this month. The moon phases, looking back slightly all the way into February, will be occurring on these evenings. Full moon, February 27th. March 5th will be the third quarter moon, so starting out the month with a early morning presence for the moon. A new moon on the 13th of March. First quarter comes up on the 21st of March, and then the full moon, the worm moon, will be on March 28th. Let's switch gears and talk about the planets. Mars is the only planet visible without a telescope right after the sun sets. It will be in the southern part of the sky, visible till about midnight. And it begins the month right below M45, Messier 45, known as the Pleiades or the Seven Sisters, or Subaru. Now, it's easy to find Mars if you use the constellation Orion. The three stars of Orion's belt, draw a line right through them and you'll end up right near the Pleiades, and you will see the planet Mars, and of course it will be drifting. It will be drifting through the sky throughout the entire month. The planet Mars will be joined by the moon in a crescent, waxing crescent phase. Mars will have drifted from where the Pleiades are to being right above the Hyades as a V-shaped face of Taurus the Bull and a bright red giant star named Aldebaran. And this will actually let you see the difference between a planet and a star, because stars, of course, twinkle. Planets do not twinkle. You will see Mars will not be twinkling. And you will notice there's a nice triangle shape on the 18th. The moon will be below Mars and Aldebaran. On the 19th, the moon will be above Mars and Aldebaran. Again, that's the 18th and 19th of this month. Hopefully you'll have a nice clear sky to be able to see this. Meanwhile, all the other planets that you can see without a telescope, naked eye planets as they're sometimes called, they're only going to be in the early morning. So let's take a look at that. The planets Saturn, Jupiter, and Mercury are the other planets that are visible this month. Without a telescope, you will find them in the early morning sky. Here we see the morning of the 9th, just before sunrise. We're talking about 5:30, 5:45 in the morning. Saturn, Mercury, and Jupiter all joined by the waning crescent moon on the 9th and the 10th, again, of the month. This will be kind of hard to see because the sun will rise very, very soon, very quickly after this scene happens, but it is something we wanted to talk about real fast. Mercury, named for the Roman messenger of the gods, Speedy, Speedy Mercury, and Jupiter, the king of the Roman gods, they will be in a conjunction on the morning of March 5th. Again, this is before the sun rises up. We're talking 5:30, 5:45 in the morning, if you like being up that early. Saturn will already be in the sky. This is in the east-southeast portion of the sky, so take a look in that direction. You will see Jupiter and Saturn very close together in the sky. Not as impressive as the great conjunction of Jupiter and Saturn from just a few months ago, but still really, really cool to see. Every year, there are 2 days when the amount of daytime and nighttime are equal. This is known as the Equinox. This also marks the day when the seasons begin to change. For those of you in the southern hemisphere, this marks the seasons transitioning from summer into fall. For those of us in the northern hemisphere, this marks the change of seasons from winter into spring. In the northern hemisphere, the March equinox is called the vernal equinox, while the September equinox is called the autumnal equinox. The opposite is true for the southern hemisphere. And with that, we end our third sky update of the year. Once again, we have upgraded for this year. We're actually going to be able to multi-stream to YouTube and Twitch and Facebook all at the same time. Please check the comments section down below for links to our social media and our streaming sites. We're going to attempt to keep a streaming schedule of planetarium shows on Monday and Wednesdays. Meanwhile, on Friday, we'll do kind of like a weekly science news or open line question and answer, ask me anything kind of free-form show, I guess is what we'd call that. Please be sure to like, subscribe, and click the bell to turn on your notifications so you don't miss any of the times that we go live. Now, we sometimes go live off schedule, so if there's something important going on or some sort of like breaking news event, we will pop on different days. So again, make sure you are subscribed so you don't miss out on any content that will be live streaming or uploading in the future. Thank you so much for watching all the way to the end of this video. If you like what we're doing here, please share the video and the channel to friends and family, people who love astronomy, or maybe people that don't know much about astronomy but want to learn. So that's what we're here to do. We're trying to educate everybody one video at a time. Please take care of yourselves and each other. My fellow Stardusters, we will see you in our next video.
Earthshine Education.